We're still driving the fuck around looking for parking.
Yeah. So, this is like black guys in cars looking for parking. You know how it's like, you ever seen that show, Comedians in Cars, like drinking coffee or some shit like that? Yeah, this is gonna be black guys in cars looking for parking. That's today's like theme.
And if you guys are thinking, well, that sounds like a stupid show, you should know how it feels to be looking for parking. It's even stupider.
Right.
So don't be. Oh, well, we're rolling the windows up
all the way up. Yo, when that lightning hits, it's like.
He said, guess what we're doing? We're rolling the windows up in this bitch. It's about to pour. I told you, motherfucker. Yo, I've been saying all day, nah, it's gonna rain dumb hard. That niggas looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, nah, it stopped raining. What are you talking about? Yeah, alright. I hope those same people are outside, stuck somewhere, and they can't get home yet.
Right.
I'm in a car, so I can say that. I'm safe. Is this a parking spot? Hey, no, it's fucking not.
Oh, damn.
That's for the mail.
Oh.
That's the USPS shit. That's the mail.
You know, it's funny. I feel like this would be a good Netflix show. Like, our show would be good, like, on Netflix.
I think it would.
You could just binge and just...
Yeah, just randomly watching us do shit throughout the day.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm like, why is it hot? I want cold air. Why in the fuck out?
Yeah, it got mad hot in here.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? That's because when you roll the windows up in this bitch, this shit is a fucking smoke box.
Yo, you remember the first Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
So they made a meme of like when you go in the car and turn on the air, but it's hot air, and then it showed remember when the shit blew up in his face and knocked him back?
That shit is bad funny.
I sent that shit to D, bro.
Yeah, no, that shit is bad funny. That's bad funny.
Yo. Oh my gosh. But for our topic today, this is how we do. We warm up, we just talk about whatever we're going through, that's how we get in it. And it also helps us pad the runtime.
Yeah, that's a fact. Y'all might think like, hey, it must be easy to do 30 minutes of just talking. It's not.
Honestly, I gotta say, we're almost at like 90 something. We're almost at 100 videos. And we're gonna go big for our 100th video. I don't know what we're gonna do. Hopefully all four of us are actually there. We might not be. B might not be back yet. But yeah, we're gonna figure something out for our 100th episode. But you gotta admit, for a show that's unscripted and all we do is just kind of pick topics, we talk about it like briefly beforehand, we've done pretty good. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't run out of shit to talk about.
Well, see, honestly, talking for 30 minutes isn't hard. Staying on one topic for 30 minutes is hard because when we really get together off camera and we're just talking about shit, we just be doing random shit. Like, it's not really this. What the fuck? People in New York can't drive, guys. People in New York suck. They're dead trash. And I don't even know what this nigga's trying to do. If you don't get your ugly ass out the fucking street. Oh no, she wasn't that ugly. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. She's annoying though.
Yeah, fuck out the street.
She's in the way. Look at this old woman smoking outside. This is mad random. The Delaney Lofts. Yeah, black people don't live there.
You said, yeah, black people don't live there. Alright, but let's get into the topic.
Alright, so a couple weeks ago, John Singleton passed away.
Spoiler alert, this episode might be fully done in the car too, depending on how long this fucking takes, but go on.
Yeah. So, John Singleton passed away a couple weeks ago. It bothered me because I actually wrote a story idea for a movie that I wanted to pitch one day, and I wanted John Singleton to direct it. I'm not going to tell y'all what movie it was. It was a really good idea. I might still make it one day just in honor of him, in memory of him, but it was a really dope idea. You were going to be in the movie. I've told you about this movie before.
I think this sounds familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me were going to be in the movie. It was going to be really, really dope. But you know, he's directed a lot of good movies. Obviously the classic is Boys in the Hood.
Is parking?
And
I might have found some fucking parking on this page.
For authenticity, you know, he had shot in, you know, LA and, you know, in South Central, and he featured like actual gang members in the movie. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Doughboy is a Crip in that movie, right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
The only Bloods in that movie are the bad team.
Yeah, Ferris.
It feels weird calling them the bad people. But yeah, the ones that killed.
The one that killed. Yeah, they're Bloods.
Those are the Bloods.
Right. So, I kind of wanted to talk about, like,
if I'm right, I think the specific set is Compton, Westside Compton Crips. I think that's who Doughboy is.
See, and you know more about that.
I should have turned up there.
Than me. So it's like, I kind of, I don't know. It was on my mind today. I was thinking about topics, and for whatever reason, red and blue came up, and I just started thinking about the gangs and whatnot. So, in this day and age, in this culture that we're living in, how do you feel about the nature of, like, Bloods and Crips and just gangs in New York specifically? I mean, California is a whole nother beast, but, like, because we live in New York, how do you feel about that, and where do you think the state of it is now?
Alright, if I'm being real, I don't want to park this far from us anyway, especially in the rain. If I'm being real, I don't know if I've really delved into it in this show yet, but I am. Don't come up to my fucking car. I don't have any change. You saying please doesn't give me any more. I don't have any change.
Sorry.
I don't have any change. Alright, this bitch is gonna make me shoot her.
Oh my God.
That's about to fucking happen.
We don't have anything.
If I have to roll this fucking window down, I swear to God.
As long as she don't tap the window.
You better not.
Oh. Wow.
I don't have any, he doesn't have
I don't have any change. No change.
No, he does not have any change.
Sorry.
Fucking cut you. Fuck away from my car. This isn't my car, guys, so I don't care if this is my car, but I don't like people.
I be feeling bad because it's like,
I don't
you
feel
really
bad.
be going through it, but no, I just don't have it. Like, sorry.
What was I talking about? Oh, gangs. Alright, so I don't know if I've really never fucking tapped in my car. If it was a nigga, I'd have been tight, but it was a homeless bitch. But alright, I actually I don't know if I've delved into this too much on the show, but I am a gang member. I would like to point out there is a difference between a gang banger and a gang member. I am under the assumption, belief, whatever you want to call it, there are no such things as real gang bangers in New York because the atmosphere is a lot different in New York. I am actually connected to California's set of gang members. Like, when I throw up my set or tell somebody what set I am, I claim California, not New York. So that's one. Gang banging started in California, and I truly believe that the only real gang bangers are in California. That does not mean that there aren't real niggas in New York or everywhere else. But as far as California gang banging versus New York gang banging, the rules are a lot different. There's a lot of shit that we let slide in New York that does not slide in California. So I do not respect a lot of the gang members in New York because they do shit that is not usually against the rules of the people that started gangbanging. That said, I know a lot of real niggas that are also gang members in New York. I respect them as people, not as gang members. I do differentiate. I'm not about to sit here and throw up my specific set, but yes, I am actually a gang member. But I am a gang member basically from out of California, not New York. So I follow the rules that were set in California, not New York. So there's a lot of things that I don't agree with that happened in New York. So, but I mean, the reason I say that there's no real gang bangers in New York is because in New York, a lot of Bloods and Crips, I mean, now it's starting in California too, but in New York, a lot of Bloods and Crips are actually really, really cool, mostly because we live so close to each other. In California, it's not really about, like, in New York, there's a whole initiation process that you gotta go through. Not saying that there's not an initiation process in California, but in California, you're basically whatever you live at. The area you live is usually run by one specific set. So if you live in that area, you are that set. If some shit was to crack off, you will be involved, even if you're not all the way a gang member, which is why a lot of the times people would just get down because it's like, nigga, like, I am from here. If something does happen, they're not going to be like, oh, hit everybody but that one person. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. So, but I mean, like, what is your specific question about what I feel about it? What do I feel about gang culture in general, or?
Yeah, and I don't know. I was saying Bloods and Crips, but I know that there's obviously more.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different.
Yeah, there's a lot of other gangs. I know when we were kids, we used to always talk about like the Latin Kings or whatever.
I mean, the Latin Kings are still around. They're just. This is no disrespect to Latin Kings because I actually knew a couple of them that were really real, but in 2019, a lot of the Latin Kings are old dope fiends.
Oh wow!
Like, there's not too many. At least to my knowledge, there's not too many Latin Kings our age.
Mm-hmm.
I have not ran into a young Latin King member since I was probably middle school, and most of the Latin Kings that were Latin Kings when I was in middle school, dead jail or they're a whole different gang altogether.
Yeah, because like in middle school, that was when I heard about Latin Kings the most. And
yeah,
then it just
I don't
stopped.
know. Whenever I see somebody with the black and gold beads now, they're usually an old Spanish guy. Like I have not run into a Latin King my age in damn near 10 years. Like, so if there are out there, no disrespect to y'all, I just don't know any of y'all. I don't see, and it's a New York thing. There's no Latin Kings in California. That's a New York gang. That gang started in New York, and it is of New York. That gang isn't anywhere else. Again, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I look at when we're talking about gang. It's raining dumb hard out here right now. When I think of gang culture, I don't think of it as completely negative. To me, gang culture is a way for. To me, gang culture is a way for kids to get some camaraderie. If their home life isn't that good, it does give you a sense of family. It turns out that my set are legit my family. My set is literally all of my cousins and my uncles and shit. Like, we are actually blood related. So when I say my gang is my family, no, they're really like my family. Aside from the gang shit, they're really related to me, like all the way. So it's a lot different, but gangs can be very, very positive. It's just sometimes the little niggas, they fuck it up. They're the ones that want to shoot shit up and do all this retarded shit. But that's not really what gangs were initially for. Gangs were to protect their neighborhoods and to protect their races in jail from like the white racists and the guards and shit like that. Over time, it's gotten a little fucked up and corrupted, but...
Did I ever tell you when I was in middle school I tried to start a gang?
Yeah, I feel like everybody did.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted... I mean, but people did, though. Like, there were crews and shit, like... And a lot of the time, even the people that were in gangs would start their own little, like, subset of the gang where it was just, like, them and their friends, like...
Right.
Because, I mean, like... I don't know if I talked about my brother that often on this show, but my brother was a blood. But I was not a blood. And I still am not a blood. So we started our own crew called ESS, which funny enough, because of me getting locked the fuck up and repping my crew, that actually got put in the gang affiliation book. So in New York, the crew that we started that's actually not a gang is actually a registered gang. At least in Harlem, which is funny, but...
Yeah. Because I actually used to rep that gang name. So now, I guess, I'm in a registered gang thing. Sorry.
It happens, man.
So, if mom and dad are watching, sorry. I swear I'm still a good guy. But... Yeah, I remember.
No, I think gang culture can be good. It can also be bad, depending on the people that are like the people that you're around and shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the rules get broken now because the new generation doesn't give a fuck about the code or just being loyal. I feel like the younger generation just isn't loyal enough for there to be like for there to be like the same kind of gangs that I grew up with. Like before, it was just like gangs was all about loyalty.
Right.
This generation isn't loyal to shit, so it's like it kind of fucks it up anyway. But that's my take on gangs. They can be good, but
yeah, because like
they can be as good as the people that make them up.
Yeah. Because like growing up, you know, I wasn't involved in that life. I knew people that were, like I had cousins that were, uncles that were, whatever, and they've been doing whatever they were doing. But
don't
like,
text and drive, guys. It's illegal.
Yeah, but
especially in an illegal car.
Oh my gosh. Well, I only knew from like gang stuff from like movies growing up. So like in my childhood, all I knew was Bloods and Crips, and it was just like, and I never even really knew where it all started, why they don't like each other, why the colors are the colors, and all that other stuff. Like I didn't really know a lot about it, and to this day, I still kind of really don't. But it's only because I never really needed to.
See, I'm from the generation where before you could claim a set, you had to know at least the history of your set. Now, I don't think that rule still applies. Like, if you ask the new generation...
Oh! I thought something hit the window. Okay, we're still here, guys. We're still here. Jesus Christ. There we go.
If you ask the new generation where their set came from, who's the OGs of their set, have they ever met the OGs of their set? This is the people that are actually from like legit sets.
It's crazy how we went this far without that happening.
It's like, technical difficulties going. I'm talking about the sets that can actually be tied back to California. A lot of them haven't been to California, haven't been in the area where their sets claim, haven't actually met any of the OGs that started their set. And that's what I mean when I say this generation of gangbangers, gang members is a lot different, because I grew up in the generation where you had to do all those things to be considered certified. So
shoot, back then gangs sound just more like fraternities.
Like, I mean, that's kind of what it kind of was. And I always kind of made the joke that when I went to college, I was just like, nah, I'm not going through no fucking hazing, because, nigga, I'm in a fucking gang. Like, what the fuck I'm a haze for, nigga? Like,
right.
I already went through initiation, nigga. I'm not doing all that. But now it's more like your favorite rapper is a Blood, so you buy a red rag from a fucking corner store and you want to call yourself a Blood. Half the time, if a gang member even approaches me and I ask where they're from, they tell me their set, and I know off rip I've never heard of that set being from California before. Right. Even though there's some of them and they annoy the shit out of me. And I hope this doesn't sound like I really, really care, because I don't care about this kind of shit. I tend not to care about things that don't make me money. So whatever he pull up in that, I don't think it's a parking spot. But the people that will tell me their set, and I'll be like, nah, that's not an actual set in California, and they'll like try to argue me to death about how they know a guy who knows a guy from that area in California, but they don't have the actual information, but they could call a guy who could call it. Look, you're not legit. I'm sorry. I don't care that you're not legit either. That doesn't make me look at you any kind of way. I truly don't give a fuck where you're from. I don't give a fuck what you bang. If it doesn't mean me making money, I can give two shits about what you do with your life. That's how this is not a parking spot. That's how I look at it. But yeah, some of y'all are not. Yeah, he almost hit me. Yo, niggas in New York can't drive for shit, I swear to God.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's just like niggas just pick some colors that usually it's their favorite rapper. That's usually what it is. They pick some colors that their favorite rapper claims, and that's what they call themselves, even though they have no real right to claim that gang. But that's on y'all. I don't care. I do not. I hope it doesn't sound like I do, because I don't.
Yeah. I remember, like, growing up, I used to, I guess because of the way I was raised, I used to just detest gangs. Like, I didn't want anything to do with it. But then when I got older, I started watching, like, The Godfather and, like, Boys in the Hood and movies like that. And even to a lesser degree, West Side Story with the Jets and the Sharks and shit. I used to, like, want to create, like, my own sense of, like, brotherhood or whatever. And I would do, like, a form of gangs, but it was just, like, we just wouldn't do violent shit. You know.
See, that's the thing. California was known for gangs. New York had crews.
Yeah.
Like, it was different. Like, New York wasn't about gangbanging. It was about crews. Like, and I don't know anything about that era, so I'm not going to act like I do. I wasn't born in that era. I was not born in the era of crews. But, yeah, that wasn't New York. New York had crews, and California had gangs.
Yeah.
So it was a lot different than West Side Story. I don't know how accurate a depiction of it is, but it's an example of the difference between a crew and a gang.
Right.
It's like your crew is you and your friends.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your neighborhood, really. I mean, your friends probably did grow up in the same neighborhood as you, but it wasn't as neighborhood oriented as gangs in California were.
Mm-hmm. And it's like when I got older, I just learned to respect that sense of belonging to something, you know, and belonging to a group or organization, you know, because even when I got to college and I joined like an honor society or even just the department that I was in, like you just kind of understand that like this is our circle, this is like who we fuck with, and if you're not one of us, we kind of like move a little differently around you, or we only let certain people be a part of us because there's a certain code or thing that we like live by or whatever. And I learned to get that. And even other organizations that I became a part of, they had a standard that you had to live up to be a part of it. And I was like, well, if I want to be a part of this, I need to rise up to that standard. So, you know, gangs in general, it has a negative connotation.
I feel like gangs also lost that. I feel like at this point, gangs just letting any fucking body in. Because some of the niggas that be claiming gangs, I be looking like, I don't think you can fight at all. And if you did have a gun, I'm pretty sure you'd be too scared to shoot it. But that's just my opinion. But go on.
I kind of agree. Even though I don't, like I said, I try not to be around that kind of element just because I don't need it in my life. But I feel like with the things that I've seen from people that I interact with, it's like you post too many pictures, like, and you do too much like stunning like in the street. Like it doesn't feel genuine, it doesn't feel legitimate to me, because it's like, what are you really doing?
Motherfuckers better be in park, I swear to God.
And if somebody was to press you, it's like, would you really step up and do anything, you know?
Well,
but I also don't care because it's not my life. I'm not a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think this thing's moving. I mean, like he grew up. Well, not grew up around me, but we got like really, really close. There's a fucking hydrant, yo, dead ass. We gotta knock down some of these hydrants. Like, if the building's burning and 2 hydrants or 1 hydrant can't take care of it, then God wants them niggas. Like, it's over. Like,
yeah,
let them niggas burn. Like, I'm tired of this bullshit. But I mean, like, yeah, this is ridiculous. But like since he met me, I wasn't in a gang, but I've always been gang affiliated since I was like really, really young, because I had family members that were gangs and I had friends that were in gangs. So I was never the flashy one, because I was always the one that was like, I'm tired of going this fucking way, but I'm in the wrong way. I was never the one that was just that. It was more of a, this is what I am. Like, it's not special.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is what I am. It's nothing to really, really like brag about. It's just like when the people that really like all the time, they're throwing up gang signs, doing all this other crazy shit, I'd be looking like, you're like a fan. Like,
yeah.
It's not like I've lost a lot of friends to gangs. I lost a lot of family to gangs. A lot of people died. A lot of people are in jail. It's a lot of shit that comes with it. I really don't glorify that part of my life. It's just like when you meet me, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type to like flaunt it. Like it's just like, nah, like this is what I am, this is what I represent, and this is kind of just me. The people that throw it around like a fad, I immediately like assume you're fake. And also the people that feel like I'm supposed to be like cool with you just because you're in the same set as me or the same gang as me, or just because you're also a gang member, it doesn't work that way. If I don't fucking like you, then I'm not gonna like you because we have the same color in common or we have the same friends in common. Like, if I don't like you as a person, then I don't fucking like you.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like, gangs don't mean shit to me as far as that.
Yeah.
I look at gangs like I said, my set is really my family. I'm loyal to my family members who happen to be gang members. That's how I look at it. I don't give a fuck about it outside of that. I really don't. And the people who are really, the people who use it like a fad, I just look at like, you don't even know what you're playing with. I look at it like you haven't lost enough for you to really see what this is for what it is. That's how I honestly look at it. And I don't respect people that do that. I really don't. But you know, that's some more little nigga shit. Like, only little niggas do that. Adults don't do that. The niggas that have been in it for a long time, who really put in pain, is like, they don't do it like that.
Because it's not necessary.
Yeah, it's just like, nigga, if you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. Like, that's really what it is. Like,
yeah.
And people like that I can be around. The people that do it the other way, I'd be looking like, nah, y'all clowns. Like, y'all goofy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? But, you know, that might just be the old nigga in me, I guess.
But, yo,
even though I'm not even 25.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that in itself is crazy? Like,
but when I say shit like that,
like,
when I say shit like that, I'm looked at as like the old head. I'd be like, I don't know. Cool, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
And I feel like we're in that line. Like, this is kind of past gangs, but I feel like we're in that line now where we're like that last like hot half of a generation where it's like one half of us kind of values the values, and like the other half just does not give a fuck at all, and they're just doing whatever they want to do because they feel they have that right.
That's a spot right
and it's
there,
like, well, yeah, but what do you stand for? Like, what are you about? Really, nothing.
No, it's not even a spot. This is fucking, you know, I'm so sick of this shit. Yo, I don't know if y'all could tell, but I really want to like get the fuck out the car. Like, I don't want to be driving anymore. Like, I truly don't.
I don't want to be in this car anymore either.
Yeah, like I'm happy I'm not in the rain, because I know you guys can't tell, but it's actually raining dumb hard right now. But like, I don't want to be in this car anymore. Like,
yeah, hydrant. If we could do the last episode in the house, that'd be really cool. But
I think this is a hydrant up here too.
Are they leaving?
I'm really getting sick and tired of these people just getting shit out of their cars. Like, get the fuck away. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I think they're packing. Are they packing food or taking food?
I have no idea.
And there's always food involved. Like, every time.
Anywhere. At least I don't know if they're going anywhere. Like,
doesn't look like it. I'm gonna be tight if we drive back around. There's a different car there.
This is another hydrant right here. Why are there 3 hydrants on this block? Let them niggas burn. Like, I'm so sick of this. Like, yo, if you can't get it done with one hydrant, guess what? God wanted that nigga. Like,
this is really crazy.
we did 2 episodes in this car.
Yep.
We're 2 minutes away from the end. We can start closing this one out.
All right. Well, I guess to wrap it all up, I'm trying to work on my endings and how I, bring it home. If you guys have noticed and appreciate it, thank you. If not, then, I'm making it obvious now.
You. That's what it is.
Or that.
If you don't appreciate it, well, then eat a dick.
Again, it's always about having that sense of belonging, that sense of family. And I feel like that's kind of why we started doing Militia. I think it got to a point where, like, in a way, Militia is our gang. Like, it's we don't have no set written code or whatever, but it's just like, we just know we got each other's backs always. We're all looking for wins. And honestly, that's how it started, because we didn't have no, like, real name. The four of us just always hung out because we were cool with each other, and it just happened to be that way. And then we were all going through like a rough patch at a certain point, so we just called ourselves like L Militia, because all we were doing, it was like this crazy point in our lives where all we were doing was taking L's, like loss after loss after loss. And then we decided, we was like, nah, you know what? We taking the L off. We're just Militia. Like, we're going for it now. We're making changes. We're getting the wins. And once we did that, things started changing. And now we're 17 weeks into a show, and, we growing. And, even from the first week up to now, like, we're all in different places. We're, going through things and moving through life. Hopefully you guys are taking notice of that. And hopefully you guys can support us so that we can continue this journey. We're at week 17, but we want to keep going to week 30, week 50, but we cannot do that. What is happening?
Okay. No, I thought the light changed. I was about to run the red. I'm like, oh shit.
But we cannot do that without your help and without your support. We're holding up our end by posting the videos, filming the videos, editing the videos. But you can hold up your end, if you choose to, by supporting our Patreon, liking and commenting and subscribing and sharing, and just becoming a part of the Militia. So you can be a part of the Militia. And knowing is half the battle. You guys have a good one.
Stay away from gangs, guys. It's not working.
It's really not. Bye.